sweaty palms and shaky hands and voices. You know, if you've had a hard time speaking in front of an audience, these may just be a few of the nerve-wracking signs you display. But once you get over that, how do you hold the crowd's attention? Public speaking expert SallyAnn will laugh after me already. Is here to help. Morning.
Good morning, Neville.
That wasn't so wonderful as a public speaker.
Absolutely not.
Where did I go wrong? Welcome to Smile Jamaica. You are many things,
Yes.
but this morning we're talking about helping folks like myself
Yes.
in public speaking.
Okay.
But outside of that, you're an author, you're an educator,
Yes.
you're a consultant to one of our ministries. So we find time to do so many. In other words, it does kind of enough.
No fun extra. Walking in purpose.
Good.
Walking in purpose.
Why do you want to help folks do that? Did you see some of us speak and say, no, sir, that's not the way to do it?
Well, the truth is, I am a speaker myself. I came out about 2 years ago, and I experienced massive fear. I was very fearful of coming out with my story. I lacked the confidence to come out with my story, even though I had been teaching and in front of people for many, many years. And so what I realized is that it's really hard to move past the fear and just come out. It's really hard to understand as a public speaker, how do I share my story? What story do I share? Which story is good for what audience?
Yeah.
It took me a long time to figure that out. I've been trained by Les Brown himself.
Brilliant.
And then I also did another training with another gentleman overseas, Bill Walsh, who actually trained Sharon Lecter, who is the co-writer to Rich Dad Poor Dad, along with Robert Kiyosaki. And so what I've learned from them, I wanted to bring it to the Jamaican landscape and empower.
The fear is what? You don't know what you're talking about? Too much people in front of you? I don't know if I speak proper English. What is the fear?
All of those. First of all, do I know what I'm saying? Am I clear on what I'm saying? Do I feel as though I'm an expert in what I'm saying? And then there's the natural fear and nerves of being in front of people. It's one of the fears next to dying, to go before an audience and speak. It's not easy to do. And I had to learn tips and tools and strategies to help me to channel that negative energy into excitement so that it could be transferred to my audience.
And how easy was that for you to come out of it?
Not easy. I have to be coached through it. I still have a group of people who I call my pre-audience. My husband, Mr. Mark, who helps me a lot with my purpose. And then I have a girlfriend of mine, Anya Thompson, who is a teacher at St. Andrew High School for Girls. And then another very good friend of mine, Kadisha Dallasgood, who is also a speaker. And I teach my students that you need to have a pre-audience. So when you see somebody like Les Brown or Lisa Nichols or myself go on stage and having a good time and connecting with the audience, we never just wake up and do it. So it is a skill, it is a craft, and like everything else, you have to practice.
Give me some tips.
All right.
Where you start?
So where do you start? I always tell people that the mindset of a professional speaker is the first thing you need to tackle. People want to come out with business cards and get serious and get busy, but you first have to believe in yourself and your ability to share your message, right? And then you want to engage the audience before you engage them. Many speakers don't take time.
Stop. What does that mean? You engage them before you engage them?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by that?
You don't take the time and the care to find out the core values of the organization. You don't take the time to find out the company colors and dress appropriately. Those things add a nice touch. So when you walk into the room, early by the way, not Jamaica time, right? You want to get there. If you don't have a prior engagement, you get there early. So these are tips of engaging the audience before you engage them. You get there early. You shake a few hands. Hi, how are you doing? I'm SallyAnn Gray. I'm the speaker for tonight. Tell me something. Why are you here? Right? And you become amicable and friendly with a few of the members of the audience. That way, when you get on the stage and you say, I was just talking to my dear friend, Mr. Brown, and he was sharing with me all the amazing work that you're doing here at Pepsi Jamaica or whatever. Just call a company name, Grace Kennedy, wherever you're at. And then you tell them that you're thankful for their service to the nation. And by the way, when I was preparing for this speech, I came across the core values of the organization because I, in my research, take the time to go on their website. And so now you've built likability and trust.
So that's the first one.
That's the first one.
You could have used TVG, by the way.
I could have used TVG. share.
What's the second tip?
All right, the second tip. Start your speech because you have a short time, 30 to 60 seconds to wow people. So you don't start with anything boring and you hurry. And you hurry and you get over the pleasantries, right? So you start with a joke, you start with an impactful quote, or you start with a story. But people have to understand that when you're sharing your story, you have to give it color and texture. Talk about the people in the story. Share their names. Tell me a little bit about some of the struggles they're having. And I want to journey with them. If something has happened in their life, I want to feel it and experience it. When I share my story of being adopted and being kicked out of high school, you can feel it. So I have people come to me after and say, oh gosh, I feel so sad. Poor thing. And then when I bring them back up and I say, but because I was able to shift my mindset, these are some of the things that I was able to do. And so you bring them up with you, right? So you have to add color and texture to the story, right? Another tip is you never leave your audience on a low note. You share the sad stuff in the beginning so you have time to build them back up. You can imagine leaving a speech and say, Lord, I feel depressed. It's not the point of the motivational speech.
What about eye contact? I heard once that you pick out somebody or you pick out a couple of people and you just...
So I earmark, it's called the triangle effect. I earmark 3 people in the room. Somebody at the back, either end, like that. So you go this, this, this. And you look at them, you engage with them, right? And once the person... Many people think that you should maintain eye contact with the person that's looking at you. No. Not as a professional speaker, because they're already... Many people are of the perception that they should maintain eye contact with the person who is already engaged and with you. Okay. But they're already with you. Yeah. So you want to be looking at people who aren't looking at you.
So what about, oh, she don't look at me. Oh, she look for the man and me is very interested and you don't look at me. But you can't look at everyone,
You can't look at everyone. Yeah? That's a technique.
Okay. The joke part at the start.
Yes. No corny joke.
Well, that's my point. That kind of scares me because you bust a joke and man, it's not that you come here fasting and I never like that joke. I don't know, you're not a comedian. But
here's the deal. You have to read your audience. You have to know where you are. You have to know appropriateness. So I teach my students in my public speaking course, Become a Professional Speaker. I teach them that you have to complete an event needs assessment form. What separated Les Brown from the rest of speakers is that he took the time to learn his audience, learn the company. So there are some questions I'm asking. If I'm going into a corporate environment where, like what you call redundancies are looming and people are not in the mood for jokes, then it would be inappropriate. Yeah. But if you don't take the time to find out what's happening on the inside, then you won't know.
You have an event
so
coming up?
Appropriateness. Yes, I do.
When? Where?
It is I Must Speak Evening of Empowerment. It's going to be at Devon House, Reggae Mill. It's on the same property as the Oprah restaurant. It's from 6 to 8. It is Saturday, May 25th. Mm-hmm. And listen, I created this platform for my graduates of the course. I'm no longer so much seeking a platform. I'm seeking to create a platform for others.
Is there a cost to this?
Yes, it's $1,500 Jamaican dollars.
All right, fantastic. So I started quite low this morning. I'm no important. Public speaking expert, SallyAnn Gray.
Bring up the energy, Neville.
Oh, look how I am. We're the #1 public speaker in the world.
And that's right, because the mindset is most important. You believe it. You don't wait for people to ascribe a value to your skill. You believe it and you own that. The world will catch up.
I learned in about 10 seconds a while ago. Good to see you. And good luck with the event when it comes.
Thank you.
All right, folks, stay with us. We get to know the prodigies a little better right after this with the #2 public speaker in the world, which is I. She's the #1. I is #2. Sakina, we don't know about that.